Hello everyone, so today's tarot reading is focused on the question, what practice will help you stay connected to your higher self today? So, the cards that came out, sorry I just want to get that crystal. So the cards that came out is the Ten of Wands reversed, the Three of Cups, the Page of Swords reversed with the Death card, and at the bottom of the deck we've got the King of Cups. Now straight away I am seeing a few different ways, so yeah, please take what resonates because this is a collective reading, okay? So I'm going to tell you more. I feel like I'm going to talk to you more about the shadow side of things. And then afterwards, I'm going to tell you the more of the positive way of me seeing it. So, okay, bear with. So first of all, there is a very, very strong message here about ending and releasing something. With the Ten of Wands, this is the energy of taking on way too much. You know, each wand is a responsibility. You know, it can be a person, a job, a situation, a family member, something you've said yes to, and it builds up to the point where you're like, you know what, I've taken on too much now. It's a boundary card. It's a card of where you're overwhelmed, you've overdone it, you've burnt yourself out, and it's a card of really going, actually, you know, I need to start saying no to certain things, okay? Or I need to start releasing certain things. Now, with it being reversed, it feels like you're being asked to finally put something down, to stop carrying something that you know you don't need to carry anymore. So it's very much, I feel with this, it's really asking you, you know, ask yourself honestly, you know, what is it that feels heavy right now? Because that is likely the thing that needs to be released, needs to, you know, be put to an end. Now, what I'm noticing as well is, or what I'm questioning really, I don't know, my brain's gone a little weird with this, it's the connection between the Ten of Wands and the Three of Cups. To me, it's almost like he's walking away from the Three of Cups or avoiding it in some way, and that's interesting because the Three of Cups is usually about celebration, enjoyment, being around others, having fun. So it's getting me to kind of question or ask, you know, I don't know why, but it's kind of like, why is he or she, whatever, is avoiding, you know, why is the energy being avoided? Yeah, the Three of Cups. So for some of you, this is where the hard truth kind of comes in, because it could be that certain people around you are not good for your energy. And with the Page of Swords reversed here as well, this can be gossip, drama, people being two-faced, or just very low vibrational, like, conversations, yeah? And deep down, you already know it. So in that case, the practice is really to actually distance yourself from that now, not to carry other people's problems, not to, because with the King of Cups here as well, it's kind of making me feel like that in that way, you know, not to get involved in things that drain you, because that's not aligned with your higher self, you know, even if it does feel kind of like familiar. And there also could be something around habits or environments. So for example, you know, saying yes to things that you don't actually want to do, going into spaces that lower your energy. Because it's the 1st of May, there's the Three of Cups has come out so many times today, and the King of Cups, it is making me think about, you know, doing things even like drinking or overindulging when you know it doesn't leave you feeling your best. Again, there's no judgment from me whatsoever, but it's more about just awareness. You know, your higher self is really asking you to be honest with yourself. And the Page of Swords reversed with the Death card, this is kind of where it goes a little bit deeper, because to me, that also another way of me looking at it is there is a mindset, a pattern, or a way of thinking that needs to end. So it's either people or it's a mindset, yeah? It could be that you're second guessing yourself, watching instead of trusting, holding yourself back instead of speaking or acting. And again, you know, I feel like you already know what this is, you know, yeah. So I would say it's not about managing it anymore. This is about ending it, letting it go. You know, when your mind starts spiraling, don't engage with it, don't feed it, just let it pass like that King of Cups, because constantly being in your head is actually what's disconnecting you as well. Now, I think that's more of the heavier side of the reading. There is a kind of more positive way that I'm seeing it as well, and I feel like it is a little bit important, so I just bear with me. The Three of Cups, right? The Three of Cups can also be showing you what does align with you, okay? So I do apologise if it's a bit back and forth. but it's just the way that I'm picking up with this reading. So your higher self isn't asking you to isolate, okay? If it's low vibrational people that you know for a fact isn't good for you, if it's doing things where you know for a fact that you're going to suffer afterwards, or, you know, it's just, it doesn't make you feel good, you are being asked not to do it, yeah? Now, another way of me seeing this, and picking up on what I'm picking up on, is you are being asked to be around people that does align with you. You know, your higher self is asking you not to isolate. It's actually saying that the right kind of connections will rise your vibration, okay? So it's really important to be around people who feel safe, who uplift you, who you can laugh with, who you feel genuine with, who you can be yourself around, okay? You know, it's not about cutting everybody off. It's about being very much more intentional with who and what you give your energy to. And then that kind of comes back to the Ten of Wands reverse, because not everything you're carrying, again, is yours to hold. You know, some of it is overthinking, some of it is emotional responsibility for other people, some of it is pressure to figure everything out. And that's probably why you're feeling disconnected sometimes, not because you actually are, but because you're overloaded, okay? And then with the King of Cups at the bottom of the deck, this is really your anchor, you know, the way that I'm seeing it. This is emotional balance, being calm, steady, in control of your emotions without actually suppressing them. You know, feeling but not being overwhelmed, or acknowledging things without letting them take over you, okay? So I feel that the practice here is really important, or a way of doing it is to regulate your emotions instead of analysing everything, okay? You don't need to figure everything out. You just need to allow it and kind of like let it pass. Not holding on to it, you know. So yeah, you know, I do feel like there is something that you need to release, whether that is responsibility, a mindset, a person, or a habit. But really, it's really important that you are just being honest about what's draining you, even if it isn't comfortable to admit it. And at the same time, you know, don't isolate yourself. You know, make sure that you are choosing connections that actually feel good and uplifting, and let yourself experience joy, because, you know, that naturally brings you back into that alignment, okay? But yeah, most importantly, you know, quiet that mind with that Page of Swords, because you don't need to overthink your way into alignment. You just need to return to it by letting some things go, and not by doing more. So I hope this has made sense, and I hope this has helped. Have a good day. Bye bye.